Hey guys, welcome to the Tech Point Africa podcast. My name is Mano.
I'm Oluwanifemi.
I'm Chimgozirim.
And I'm Bolu.
So how are we doing? How's our weekend?
I'm
Very good. I'm trying to remember what the weekend was like. Okay.
It's been boring, no football. So for me,
Yeah, no football.
Yeah.
Mine was
it's
a
really
very
football that makes the weekend
For us,
interesting.
Nifemi, what do you do with your weekend, please?
I cook
Of course.
and then I eat, then I sleep.
Okay.
But this
Alright.
weekend
Such a
was,
mundane existence.
I'm giving you one kind. Anyways, this weekend was quite interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Right, one of my siblings had his birthday, and it was nice bringing out his old pictures.
Yeah,
And-
I saw you disgracing a whole officer on your WhatsApp status. But okay.
Yes, but something else happened. Sunday was June 12th, which is Nigeria's new democracy day. It's new because
Yes.
as far back as 2020, it used to be May.
Was it 28? The previous democracy, I think it was 28. I'll be 29. Which one?
Yes, May 29th. Yes,
Oh.
that rings the
Okay,
bell.
yeah, 28 should be
It's-
children's
it's-
day.
27 is children.
It's children. May 27 is
That's been
children's
a
day.
while
So
you
May
were a child.
29
people are
is.
so unpatriotic.
Why didn't you correct us if you were the patriotic one?
Yeah, I wanted to see how you guys would
Anyways,
figure things out yourself.
Nigeria's new democracy day is June 12th, and it was celebrated on Sunday. And it's as if people just forgot about it because when things trend, it's not hard for you to notice them online. But I didn't quickly notice. But the only thing that stood out for me on that day, aside from my brother's birthday, of course, was the article released by Intelligence by TechPoint about it made a very bold statement about Nigeria's coming presidential election. And well, they look indisputable because data is involved. So as they say, data don't lie.
Well, data does not always tell the full story.
True.
But it doesn't lie.
It still doesn't tell the
And
full
it can be
story.
interpreted in several ways.
Is that a hill you want to die on? It doesn't lie.
No, depending on context, right? Data can be interpreted in different ways. So 2 plus 2, you all historically know it as 4, right? So, but what if the person argues that no, you didn't put this 2 in base 10, you argued it in base 2. So, no, not base 2, sorry. Let's say base 4.
I don't know what you're talking about, but continue.
Okay,
I'm
so
lost. I'm already getting bored.
But
let's
yeah,
not go there. But the idea is you can twist data to fit whatever narrative you want to push.
yes, you can. Yes,
but
you can.
I think that article really hit the nail on the head. We didn't just present data to you. We actually give you context, give
Yes.
you like deeper analysis behind
yes.
everything
You should
that's
read
going
it.
on.
It's
Yeah,
an interesting read.
yeah.
I'm not very good with numbers, but there are a lot of numbers in that article, but I still enjoyed reading it.
Oh, cool.
Yes, so take it from me. You should read it.
All right, so you've heard Nifemi. We're linking it on the podcast description so you can read it. Then, of course, so many things going on around the globe. We're hearing Web 5. Bolu, we're here for you today again.
Oh yeah, Web 5 is just another thing one of our many crypto evangelists have whipped up.
See the way you're confidently explaining itself.
Seriously,
Nah,
when
You've
I
not
saw
even done
it,
Web 4.
when I saw it, I didn't even give it a second.
No,
look.
but to be
In my
honest,
mind, I'd be like, I've not even understood Web 3. What are you people up to?
but I'll be honest, I had the same reaction when I saw it. I said, our people, let's be calming down.
He said our people.
Because I don't, because Web3 just came, we don't fully understand it. We did not even stay at Web 4. Now we are bringing Web 5. And Web 5 is just another thing. Jack Dorsey is whipping up from the depths of the Bitcoin blockchain. So he's saying he has always been someone who has not been for Web3, right? He says Web3 is just something that was created by a lot of VCs to just sell their market. Like he's saying it's more like a marketing strategy. Himself and Elon Musk, they had that idea about it, and he's saying he's bringing Web 5, which is going to be true decentralization. And Jack Dorsey is kind of like a Bitcoin maximalist. You don't really see him talking about other altcoins, right? Altcoins are other coins, other blockchains besides Bitcoin. So he doesn't really talk about it. He's always Bitcoin. So he's creating this Web 5 on like the Bitcoin blockchain, and he's saying this is what will give us true decentralization.
What may I want to say that if you have community, go and tell them they should be careful.
I want them.
Yeah, but I find it interesting that this is coming at a time where almost every week we're having one African regulator or regulatory agency talking about implementing Web3 and blockchain. And of course, Jack Dorsey is still saying the Web 5 will be on the blockchain. But the Nigerian Stock Exchange saying that they want to use the blockchain to make settlement. What does that even mean?
Same question I asked myself when I first saw this story. So let's take it from the top, right? So the Nigerian Stock Exchange wants to start using blockchain for settlements. They said this because they thought a lot of young individuals they are more receptive to this kind of technology, right? But there are a lot of questions involved, right? But before we go into those questions, let's talk about the Nigerian Stock Exchange. Let's even understand what the Nigerian Stock Exchange is, because when you're talking to people in, should I say, our age range now, the NCE is not really something we are conversant with. We know more about investing on all platforms like Bamboo and things like that, like investing in stocks, the American stocks and things like that. But when it comes to Nigerian Stock Exchange, I don't know. Maybe Chimgozirim does.
Has anybody used it?
Why are you calling me?
Because shots fired.
No, he's just asking. Why are you feeling defensive?
Now,
Okay.
you might be surprised.
He's basically saying you were born in a different era.
I'm telling him.
Not
All right.
in
Yeah, so the Nigerian Stock Exchange is just basically a financial market where you can trade stocks, bonds, basically any kind of security that is Nigerian. And the process has always been the same for like a really, really long time. So when it comes to the NCA, right, let's say you want to invest in a stock, the process is really crazy. First, you need to hire a stockbroker. You need to open a brokerage account. You need to complete the Central Securities Clearing Systems account opening form. When you start thinking of these things, do you understand why a lot of young people don't really look?
Yes, when I can use Bamboo.
Yes, exactly.
Or Chaka.
Exactly. That is really simple. Like I don't really need to call anybody.
I don't even care what is behind the technology. I just want to put my money somewhere and invest it.
Exactly. So this is, some of the reasons why the NCE is saying they want to adopt blockchain so that they can lure more young people to use the Nigerian Stock Exchange. Yeah, but I decided to talk to, because it was a little bit fuzzy for me, because NCE was my concern.
I'm wondering, why can't they just use the tech that the normal ones are using, normal trading platforms are using? Why go as far as blockchain? Is it sweet in the eyes? Like,
okay, so the thing is, what they want is for you to relate directly with the NCE. These platforms don't allow you to like relate directly with. They are like a middleman for you. You get?
Okay, so now before you continue, Bolu, you keep saying NCE. It's the NSE, Nigerian Stock Exchange.
I'm so sorry.
So it's not Nigeria College of Education.
Sorry, the Nigerian Stock Exchange. Let me just stick to Nigerian Stock Exchange. So they want you to relate directly with the Nigerian Stock Exchange, right? When you go on platforms like Bamboo, Chaka, and Co, it's not as if they are doing it, say, on your behalf.
Like they are intermediaries.
Exactly. So what the NCE wants is
NSE.
What the NSE? What the Nigerian Stock Exchange wants is for you to relate with the market directly, without any, shall I say, any form of intermediary. Because basically blockchain can do that, but it still seems kind of fuzzy. So I decided to talk to the president of the stakeholders of the Nigerian Blockchain Association of Nigeria, Senator Ihenye, and he actually thinks it's a welcome development.
It's always welcome.
First of all, it's a welcome development that the Nigerian Exchange Limited, is looking at how to ensure that the capital market is accessible to the younger generation in the country. Indeed, when it comes to access to the capital market, for a long time, persons in certain demography have actually expressed concerns about how inaccessible the market is, especially when it.
All right. Yeah. So
can I say what I want to say?
The market has been inaccessible, right?
Exactly.
So, but I think the Nigerian Exchange has actually created an app for people to be able to access. So that app, I don't know what came of it, but I don't think. Okay, please.
So I think this is actually the case of people just using blockchain to solve a problem that is not there.
Exactly, because that was what I wanted to say.
Why do we have the guys like Rise Vest and Bamboo? For very, very obvious reasons. With your 10K, is it 10K now? With your 5K, you cannot trade on the Nigerian Stock Exchange. There's no way for you to do that. So they found a way to do micro trading through on on better stock exchanges like the New York Stock Exchange and the likes. Those are even more valuable to you. So let's say you invested in, I think Dangote is one of the most valuable companies on the Nigerian Stock Exchange. If you invested there, the gains you'd have had would be like very, very marginal. That you wouldn't even
if inflation
bother.
has not swallowed it up.
So you're talking about people born in a different era. If you ask a lot of our parents, they lost tons of money in the stock market crash a couple of years back. So that discouraged them. So when I think the first time I started using Rise, was it Rise? Okay, when I first heard about Bamboo, I didn't use it, but I started using Rise later on. I told my dad about it, and my dad was like, "Oh, I'm not interested," because he lived through a period where investing on the Nigerian Stock Exchange was basically not very profitable, and it's still not very profitable now. So why do they think that blockchain would suddenly make me okay? Fine, maybe settlement makes it. Settlement might be a good idea, but would this solve the problem of young people actually using the stock exchange?
That's a very interesting question, and I wanted to save this for the end, but let me just bring it in now. So as crazy as it might sound, don't surprise. When I heard this, I was like, see, blockchain does not mean anything. No, wait.
Please,
let me finish.
Hashtag is from Bolu.
No. Don't let me finish before you understand me.
So
you see, the thing that actually makes young people relate with cryptocurrencies, because most times when you talk about blockchain, it's inevitable to talk about cryptocurrencies. The reason why young people, what word will I use now? The reason why they're attracted to cryptocurrencies are actually the gains. If the technology behind it was not blockchain, they will not care. As long as it worked that way,
Exactly.
as long as it gave them the kind of gains that they will have gotten, they will not care. And as long as it was as accessible as it is now, so whether it was blockchain or whether it was AI or whether it was IoT or whether it was even jazz, as long as they were getting the kind of gains they would have been getting. So when I saw this, what came to my mind was, okay, blockchain. Why blockchain? Because the CEO of the Nigerian Stock Exchange, Temi Popoola, was saying this is the kind of technology youths or young people are attracted to. And they are attracted to it because of a reason. Like, to be honest, maybe because I like the technology, the way it works. Yeah, fine. But the real reason at the end of the day is because it helps cryptocurrencies work. And if you invest in cryptocurrencies, you can get so amount of gains, and you can also get so amount of losses. It's an interesting market that blockchain has facilitated, right? So it's really not about to be honest, nobody cares which technology it is. You understand? So I think that really answers.
I'm glad that it's coming from you.
Yes,
very glad.
You know, we have to be.
You have been
You shall-
gaslighting
you shall
us
say the
online.
truth, and the
Anything
truth will
against
set you free.
blockchain like this, gaslighting.
So what I find really peculiar about this whole thing is the Nigerian Exchange. So it was formerly the Nigerian Stock Exchange. They are now the Nigerian Exchange Limited.
Yeah, so it's actually formerly Lagos Stock Exchange.
Yeah, the formerly Lagos Stock Exchange, Nigerian Stock Exchange, now the Nigerian Exchange Limited. They've been trying to rebrand and get more people interested in the stock exchange. They introduced an app called the X Mobile. It's on Google Play Store, and it doesn't have the best reviews so far, so good. And it's not even as seamless as a Rice Vest or a Chaka or a Bamboo, where you can just do everything from the app. All you just need to, all you can do with the app is to keep track of all your stocks. Okay, where is MTN today? Okay, where is Dangote today? So, but it's not like you can actually do active
trading.
So they are half-heartedly embracing the technology. Even the regular Web 2, now they are going to Web 3. Okay, I like to see how things play out. It could be nice, it could not be, but honestly, Bolu, your people.
Okay, I think we should also. I know what I've said before, right?
Don't change mouth.
No, I'm not changing. But
Okay.
let's now consider what blockchain has done, right? I said it doesn't matter which technology is behind whatever form of financial markets, right? But you see, blockchain has facilitated cryptocurrencies. We've seen what has happened with cryptocurrencies. We've seen how it has removed a lot of barriers for people to actually invest, make money, try their hands at something new. There has been no barriers there. So what I'm also seeing, I'm seeing if you look beyond what Chimgozirim has said about actually getting money on your investments, how little returns you will get, how inflation can actually even spoil your little gains that you have gotten. If we look beyond that, this is still a welcome development, right? If we look beyond the money aspect, this is something that can actually work. If we now add businesses that okay, if I invest in Dangote in the next 5 years, I can get say 20-30% return, and it's Onome is looking at me one kind. But the truth is, blockchain has been capable of a lot. When you look at it from the context of cryptocurrencies, even in other aspects, right? So it's something that can work. They've done these mobile apps that didn't work. Maybe blockchain could work.
Okay. Just a quick question. So the aim of the blockchain is actually for settlement, right?
Yes.
Does it significantly improve settlement, or is it just marginal improvements again?
So what are you asking? What blockchain will exactly how it will help the Nigerian Stock Exchange, right?
Yes.
All right. So the thing here is we do not have they have not revealed a lot of information about what will be done exactly. It's kind of like the route they went with the in-era. With the in-era, when they were announcing it, we didn't really know much. We speculated a lot of things, but then as time went on, we saw that they partnered with a firm from Barbados that we did not know. We heard that they were going to use a private blockchain, and we're wondering, okay, how is this going to work? A lot of things were just popping out, and it's kind of the same thing here. They've said they are going to partner with a firm. We don't know the name of the firm yet. They said it could actually help. The CEO said it could help in creating new products. That's nothing concrete. So what blockchain will be doing exactly isn't clear yet. But from what we've seen blockchain do from the way we've seen blockchain applied to other kinds of financial markets, basically the cryptocurrency markets, which is the only market we've seen.
So we should not hold our breaths, basically.
Let's give them the benefit of the doubt.
It's unfolding before you are ready.
Let's give them the benefit of the doubt. Let's see what they want to come up with. Temi Popoola seems kind of excited about it from the comments I've read in online, and let's just see what happens.
Okay, yeah, let's see what happens. I mean, they released an app called the Primary Alpha in June 2021 last year, and that app is actually interesting. You could use it to get He does buy primary offers on the Nigerian capital market. So yes, that's quite. Everything about this is quite interesting. But of course, we'll hold our pinch of salt very, very tightly in our hands. But let's zoom out of Nigeria and go all the way to Kenya. And Kenya is doing something very, very, very controversial. I mean, I can hear the shouts already from people in Kenya that what the heck is going on. It started in 2016 and they just quietly, silently passed it in the Kenyan parliament. The Kenya ICT Practitioners Bill. Ifemi, Chimgozirim.
Okay, you've almost said, you spilled it.
I spilled it. I didn't say anything. I just said a controversial bill called the ICT.
They secretly passed ICT practitioner bill into law. No,
the president has not assented yet.
They passed
Parliament
it on the parliament. So
Yeah.
they are expecting the president to okay it.
Yes.
Right? And this bill is just to license, right? Calling for people that use tech in any way, like to make money, like you use tech to build something and people pay you for it. As long as you fall into that category, you have to be licensed, you have to pay for a license every year, renewable annually, for you to practice, right? And as you mentioned, the first time it was proposed was in 2016. It was kicked against. Then it was brought back in 2018. It was kicked against. Then it came back in 2020. After a kickback, then it was a few caveats was removed. A few things that define who a tech practitioner is was removed, like maybe degree. When you want to use a certificate in maybe something tech, because as I didn't go to school to get a degree in anything tech, and here I am reporting about tech. Where do I belong if I were in Kenya, right?
Where do you belong in Nigeria?
I don't even know where I belong. So that was kicked back too, and people just woke up on Wednesday morning, or let's say Thursday morning, because it was passed on Wednesday, and they saw that this bill has been passed. How? When? How did it happen? Well, it has happened, and it seems Kenyan tech people, their fingers are crossed, and they are all looking at the president to see his final decision on this particular thing. So it's I don't know, I can't say it's interesting, because there've been a lot of conversations around the inadequacy of the legal framework on ground when they want to relate it to tech in many countries, not just in developing countries, like where tech is making wave, like in Africa, like Kenya, like Nigeria, even India, right? There's been a lot of conversation around how the existing framework is inadequate, but still you want to push it on tech. We understand the fact that tech regulations will always run after tech, right? But instead of the government sitting with stakeholders in the tech ecosystem to discuss and understand what is exactly going on, so that you can build a framework that fits perfectly into what is going on. What they do, they slap taxes, they tell you to pay a fee for license. They just want to collect money from you. Anything that should make you just to make you, like, to stop you from doing what you're doing. But then there's another part. But before I go, I think Chimgozirim is looking at me. Do you want to say something?
No, really. I think you've already said it.
But
You've already said anything
Okay.
out there to say.
So my issue with this bill now is quite. So I spoke with some experts, and of course we couldn't get them to have their voice in this podcast. But I got to understand that the bill is so vague that the whole ICT practitioner thing could apply to almost anybody that has anything remotely close to do with technology. So a doctor using a software in a hospital could become an ICT practitioner.
Right? But that is the thing
So
about...
the definition that they gave is actually funny. They said ICT means technologies employed in collecting, storing, processing, or sending out information and including those involving the use of computers, mobile apparatus, or any telecommunication system. So,
Anybody
where
at
do
all.
we draw the line at ICT practitioners?
So it's vague, and I don't know because it looks like something that's going to.
Do you remember the NITDA bill?
Yes, a bit.
Yes,
I don't
just-
remember the full details
Yes,
of it.
okay. It's what we're calling for it to be reviewed, right? It's been passed since 2007 or so.
Yeah.
But still, you are still trying to force it on a technology that has just been embraced in this age. How does it work? How would it work? It can't, right? So they will always be vague. What they just want is look for like something that looks familiar to what you're trying to enforce. Then bring it out, then you find an explanation to it, right? And that is why it always gets pushed back.
I think this, for me, I think this is them being mischievous.
Mischievous.
Yeah. So if a law is vague, the person who would always suffer for it is the person that law was made for, not the person who has made the law.
Exactly.
So they can easily carry a social media manager, for example,
I say you should come and
and
collect
say you should
license.
come
Come
and collect license.
Or you face just
Right,
jail term
but-
or pay a fine.
So it's very, very easy to say, okay, some people who are like, so let's say all of us are working in tech. Yeah, but are we all really ICT practitioners? Are we all ICT practitioners, like in the real sense of it? So I'm a
Yes.
software engineer, for
You are
example.
an ICT practitioner.
I'm a
Chimgozirim.
software engineer.
See,
You use
a
Google
doctor.
Docs. Come on.
Okay,
You
now,
use Google- can you
okay,
imagine?
thank you.
He's trying to Chimgozirim is trying to what will I call it now? He's trying to remove himself. He
No,
gets- they
I'm not
bring this
removing
thing
myself.
to
No, it's not
Nigeria.
a Kenyan.
What it
To start
means
with.
You
is
use
that
Google Docs. You use Google Meet.
I hope you know that brings a student who has to write his final year project or any project
No,
at all on Google
do you know why I
Docs
don't
in.
bring a student? The student is not making money from
Yeah,
it.
he's
You're
not an
collecting
How are you
employee.
sure he's not making money
You're
from
collecting
it?
salary.
Oh, okay. What about a student who is actually a freelancer?
Those kind of people.
That
That
is
That's
not
what
collects
practitioner.
data. They should stop. Can you imagine?
You should stop it.
That,
Okay,
that
so
also means that so government agencies where they use Excel, for example, are they ICT practitioners?
yes.
They are ICT practitioners.
Are they not using software to collect data?
Well, that's the thing. So
Let-
a vague law like that is just going to increase the is it the tax bracket or be whatever the license bracket? Yes,
True.
but how do you define? Okay, medical practitioners is very, very simple. If you're not a medical doctors don't have the same license that nurses have.
Yeah.
Pharmacists don't have the same license that doctors or nurses have, but they are all medical practitioners. So what you can do if you want to do that, if you absolutely have to do licensing, then we can now delineate. Okay, this guy.
Yeah,
this
that's
is who
the
you
first
are.
thing they should do.
This is
They
who
should
you are.
sit
Not
and
lumping all of us
understand.
together. Because think about it, it's taking them 6 years, and they still can't define who an ICT practitioner is.
So the idea is that when they want to come after you, they look at you and like, oh, this guy should be an ICT practitioner.
They should be.
and he has
the
not come to meet
problem.
us for license. So we now come and meet him. So it's now left to you to
To
prove
explain
beyond
the
reasonable doubt.
that you
that
are.
you
or
are not. Now here's another another interesting too. So the so-called bill doesn't even have like stuff like license fees.
Yeah,
Not
It
defined
doesn't have
yet.
the fines defined yet.
they've
Mhm.
removed
So
it.
they are
yeah.
going to leave that for the council. So the ICT practitioners are supposed to have a council and then an institute. So the council would determine
How much?
the licensing fees. They would also determine who these ICT practitioners are. So this is
probably
basically
come for
guys saying
interview.
these guys are making too much money. Let's create a body that will make money from them, but that body has to figure out how
they are
to
going
go
to
after
do it.
them.
How much?
But,
so
on the other hand, right, I think we should maybe find a wiggle room for the government here. They are confused.
I don't accept that.
No, seriously, they are.
They
Okay,
confused
this is it.
Or
This
just
is it, right?
incompetent.
Well,
I don't even think
that's
they're incompetent. I think they know what they are doing.
Well, true.
I think they know what they are
see,
doing.
they're not stupid. Governments pay consultants, right?
to tell them
To
the
tell them-
truth.
Yeah,
Those consultants are young people like you and I who have probably worked in the sector before.
exactly.
Because I'm wondering. Okay,
it's why I never buy
that
the situation.
To understand what is going on.
Okay.
And they are trying to make sure that somebody is liable for something, right? Say if you do a 3D, if you have a 3D startup now that builds house, right, with renewable material, with recycled materials, right? It's good, but what if that house fall on people living inside? Who will you hold, right? There is no regulation around it, right? There are barely regulations around privacy, apart from words on paper, right? So I think, but it seems you are trying to convince me now that they know what they are doing and they just want to make life hard for
I just
you.
remember something. So if I go out tomorrow and I buy a drone for like just entertainment, I just like maybe videography and all. Then I buy a drone. Am I an ICT practitioner?
You actually need a license. You need a license
to own a drone, actually.
Yeah, I need a license to own a drone. But am I also going to get another license to be an ICT practitioner?
Shay, you would like to talk to the Kenya?
Well, it would be interesting if they have answers, because they've had 6 years. Well, problem is it's the parliament now. So
yeah, so I think the whole issue keeps rearing its head because they want to actually make sense of the digital space, and the way it's positioned, it sounds like, oh, this is like an engineering license. You know, when you say someone is a certified engineer or a certified accountant, you keep taking courses to make yourself remain relevant and remain qualified. And I remember, I think that was last year or 2 years ago, the Nigerian Parliament was actually pushing for a bill to make sure that media people actually need to have a media degree to operate in the space. So the whole thing it's quite interesting.
We can also pass a bill that legislators should have a public administration degree too.
Well, fair
Let's
point.
not get to
Yes. People were actually saying that when that story came out. But yeah, it's the whole roller coaster of the Nigerian and Kenyan, in fact, the whole African government space. And yeah, we'd like to hear what you think about everything that's going on. If you'd like to share any deep insights you have about Web 5, come on, just reach out to us.
Yeah,
in fact, we invite you to this podcast and you can explain everything you want to explain about Web 5.
Yeah, but before we end it, I just want to say, like, for Nigerian techies, I don't know how Kenyan techies are on social media, but Nigerian techies, let's try and reduce how we brag about how much we make before the Nigerian government.
Need to brag. They will find you. Don't get you.
Before Nigerian government to say,
they will find you.
Come and slap.
They are the government for a reason. They will find you.
I can't speak for Kenyans, but I don't think they're like us in Nigeria. When God bless us, we want everybody to know and want to raise our shoulders. But yeah, no worries. Don't worry. You can come and raise your shoulders for us if you understand Web 5. So yeah, what do you think about the Nigerian Exchange Limited plan to use blockchain for settlements, whatever that means? Bolu, I still don't accept your explanation. And of course, Kenya's move to license ICT practitioners, also whatever that means. Very, very vague. So just let us know what you think. You can tweet at us with the hashtag TechPointAfrica Podcast, or send an email to podcast@TechPointNewsAfrica. And if you're listening to us for the first time, or you've been listening to us and you've not been sharing this, that is very, very bad of you. Where can you get this podcast?
Okay, you can find us on Google Podcasts, Apple Podcasts, Stitcher, Spotify, Hi-Hat Radio, and anywhere else you get your podcast.
Yeah, Bolu changes his voice anytime.
It's because of my teacher. That's what my teacher said I should do.
All right, guys. Take care and see you on the next one.
Bye.
Bye-bye.